You're tuned in to Get Right Fantasy.
Hey everybody, Adam Rank here.
What's up, friends? Daniel Dopp here from the Fantasy Focused Football Podcast over on ESPN.
It's Fabs here, Michael Fabiano from Sports Illustrated.
You know who you can trust if you've got some questions about your fantasy squad?
Want to check out a cool show on YouTube that'll help you get ready for the fantasy football season?
Check out the Get Right Fantasy Network.
Check out the Get Right Fantasy Network. If you are not subscribed, what are you waiting for? You want to lose your league?
Head on over to YouTube. Check out the Get Right Fantasy Network because they're doing everything they can to make you a better fantasy player.
You got to get right with the Get Right Fantasy Network.
You're tuned in to Get Right Fantasy.
What up? What up? What up, world? Welcome back to the Get Right Fantasy Network. I'm Mike Herrick, aka Classic Mike, and tonight I'm here with my good buddy Evan Sather. What's going on, man?
Good to see you again, Mike. Glad we can do this again. Unfortunately, we don't have Kendall this evening as a father of his recently born third child. He was probably going to join if we didn't encourage him to just, take the night off, get used to having that third addition to the family. We're really happy for Kendall. It's a wonderful thing. And we're still here ready to help you guys out with your Week 12 start sit questions.
That's right. And, congratulations to Kendall and his family. Really, really do, can't wait to, see how everybody's doing. He's been keeping us in, little tabs here and there, but, just glad that everyone's healthy and at home. So can't wait. First, tonight, we're going to be helping you guys with your start sit questions for Week 12. We're going to be going over some news and notes and some injuries leading up. If you have your questions, make sure if you guys want your questions answered right away, make sure you guys use the super chat feature. And we will stop everything just to answer your question. Otherwise, we'll be answering them in the order in which they come in the chat. We will be here for about an hour or so, or based on the amount of questions that we see from you guys. So start throwing those questions in the chat, and we'll get to them shortly. Also, a disclaimer, just make sure you guys are posting, the format and scoring when you post your questions. Make sure you guys are using full, half, non-PPR, tight end premium, things like that to describe it.
Please.
Yeah, it's incredibly helpful. Make sure if you're going to ask trades and stuff, let us know if it's 10 or 12 team, or if you're trying to differentiate what positions and stuff we need. It's just good to know how many of each thing we need to look for, things like that. Teams on a bye this week. We have the Broncos, the Chargers, the Dolphins, Commanders. All those teams are going to be on a bye this week. So a little something, a little bit of a bye-nado, but nothing crazy. We got, Sutton out. We got Bo Nix, Justin Herbert, Tua, Jaden Daniels, who we already know of, guys like that. It's going to be a little bit rough picking, but we'll see how we'll try to navigate you through that little dark passage right there. First and foremost, we'll start with the QBs. I had to start with mine. Jackson Dart will be out. He had limited practice during the week. They ruled him out today. They're trying not to rush him back. I get it.
So this is allegedly Jackson Dart's fourth concussion. Is that right?
Well, it was his fourth evaluation for a concussion. So, and there's been conversation of the concept of why Dable was fired. It doesn't look good. I think that they're trying to, I don't want to say appease people, but I think what they're trying to do is make it where, give them a little extra time. We're not winning anything at this point. Just give them a minute and they're going to just ease him back in, hopefully. Just want to see him. I just want to get the points. Unfortunately. The next is going to be Aaron Rodgers. It's his left wrist. He was limited Thursday and Friday. Did not practice on Wednesday. And I'm using limited in a very loose fashion, to be quite honest.
If Aaron Rodgers suits up, he has to face a Bears defense that is not very slowly, but noticeably improving in pass rush. So Aaron Rodgers' best interest would be to not play and let that heal up.
That would be smart. The only caveat that I will put to that is that they are down their 3 best linebackers, starting linebackers. So
true, but the secondary is starting to come back as well.
True, but the whole point I was going to go is that honestly, it really doesn't affect him. It affects more the run game than it does anything. TJ Edmonds and Tremaine Edmonds, like they're better at run stopping than they are at the actual at pass rush. So for it strongly affects the run game, which we'll talk about a little later. Tyrod Taylor is going to be getting the start for the Jets, as well as Kirk Cousins with Penix out for the year. Another ACL tear.
Good luck, Jets and Falcons fans.
Yeah, that's gonna be an interesting conversation for later for them. They're gonna have to figure out what they're gonna do, and yeah, it doesn't look good either way. And good old Tyrod Taylor is getting the Ravens, so that should be fun. Joe Burrow. This is going to be a little bit more complicated. So Joe Burrow had 2 full practice. Well, I think he had 2 full practices and a limited, if I remember correctly, or 3 full. It doesn't really matter. The whole point is that it's kind of weird that he's coming back at this point. Joe Flacco was limited Thursday, but was back to full on Friday. He's off the injury report. They faced the New England Patriots on Sunday. Then they faced the Ravens on Thursday Night Football, like Thanksgiving Thursday Night Football, prime time. The reason why... Well,
sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no. The whole point I was going to make is that Vegas is actually another part of this. Vegas believes that he's going to play. They actually have his prop out currently, and the line actually went down a little bit. It went back up as of recently, because I just looked at it now, and it opened at 7.5, and now it's at 7. But the over-under went up. So little things like this are just good to look at because it's, it gives you an indication if at all they're going to like play Burrow or, but right now it's very unseen. He can't clear until, the team has until Saturday at 4:00 to clear and activate him.
Yes.
So we have to wait until then. We'll know for 100% fact by Saturday afternoon. If you don't hear anything, he's not playing, and it will be Joe Flacco.
Yeah. I've already updated my rankings assuming that Burrow is playing because Joe Flacco already has a shoulder injury that is not exactly helping him out on that football field. And if anything, Joe Burrow is a guy that the Bengals have been dying to get back out there. I mean, right now they have a horrible fucking record right now, but they still believe they're ready to win now, which is delusional, but they want to get their prize stud quarterback back out there, and I'm pretty sure he wants to get back out there too. For those of you who don't remember, he had surgery on his turf toe injury. Toe injuries are a bitch. I've had them myself. Never needed surgery, thank goodness, but even then, it just takes that long to heal up, and I think he's going to want to play through just residual soreness.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, he's definitely going to do everything he can to get out there. I think week 13 was the realistic, or it was the optimistic that he would be back, and then a lot of people said that he would be back in week 14. I think that they're going to try to rest him up for this week, try to get him ready for Thursday Night Football. That would be the smart move, just because it's just if you lose against New England, it's not good, but at least it's less risky. And then you can move on to face the Ravens, who they need to beat in Thursday Night Football on primetime. It's just a bigger narrative that kind of I feel like they're going to try to do.
That's actually another reason I think Burrow's going to play. They don't want to lose to the Patriots.
Fair enough. But I mean, it looks like it. Like I said, it's really up in the air. I think he's going to push for it, but I'm being very cautiously optimistic, if that makes sense. Like I'm not going to invest in this type of matchup, but it looks great on paper, 51 point over under. And they're underdogs by 7. So
And Jamar Chase is suspended for this game.
Well,
he will not play.
Well, that was the other part of it too, is that he's not going to have Chase, and he'll get Chase back on the Thursday night. So I don't know. We'll see.
We'll cover that in a little bit.
Well, we'll cover that. I'll cover that on Sunday morning because that's when we'll know. Daniel Jones, he had a calf injury that snuck up on him on Thursday. He's good to go, though. No injury tag. Thank God. Dylan Gabriel is still in concussion protocol. It looks like Shedeur Sanders is going to be getting the start this week. How do you feel about Shedeur starting? I'm curious.
Well,
I have my own opinion.
Yeah. So if those of you who haven't seen my YouTube short I made about him 2 days ago, Barely Fantasy on YouTube, after this show, check it out. I did make a Shedeur Sanders short. So I covered the relief statistics that he had in the second half against the Ravens, which he went 4 for 16. He rushed 3 times for 16 yards. He fumbled but didn't lose it, and he took 2 sacks, and he threw an interception. Those are horrid numbers, even if you're just playing a relief role. Now, that being said, I'm willing to reserve a little bit of judgment for Shedeur Sanders, because when you have to come in as a backup quarterback in relief, it is really hard to do well. So, that being said, Sanders will at least have a slightly easier opportunity against a weak Raiders defense that is sneaky good at getting quarterback pressure. So, Sanders is clearly not NFL ready. I mean, he played about as well as a 5th-round draft pick can do in the preseason against a bunch of 4th-stringers and roster bubble guys. Now, against a bunch of starters like Max Crosby, good luck, Shedeur. You're going to need it, man, because it's not going to be good.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. I'm looking forward to watching the chaos that will be caused by this. It's more like that's more the spectacle for me. I don't have him ranked high. I have him in the low 20s, and it's going to be. I mean, for what the Raiders are on defense, they are actually pretty good at pass rushing, and that's mostly because of Max Crosby. But they are overall a not a horrible defense. Brandon Graham is one of the better defensive I mean, he's one of the better defensive coordinators. He's not like the best, but he's up there. He's been known for a lot of head coaching jobs and so on and so forth. Either way, he's actually a decent this is a decent matchup for them. I'm expected like them to do okay in this matchup. So it should be fun.
Yeah, the Raiders have good pieces, but overall they're just not a good defense.
No, I'm not saying they're like I'm not saying like they're anything special, but they can rush the passer, and they will.
Oh yeah.
Baker. So actually, I should clarify. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers had a ton of people out on Wednesday and Thursday. They had a bunch of people that were sick, Mayfield included, and Mbuka as well. They're both good. They're both tagless. They're currently, they had full practices. And I think Mbuka had limited practices during the week, but Baker was full. Everyone's fine. They're all good to go. Let's run through the running backs. The biggest one is Josh Jacobs. Josh Jacobs didn't practice Wednesday. He did individual drills Thursday, very limited today. He's trying to play.
I think they're saying he has a bruised knee.
Yeah, he has like a bruised kneecap, and it needed to swell. The swelling needed to go down. It's like 60% down and all this. Most reports suggested a week 13 return versus the Lions on Thanksgiving. Another Joe Burrow-ish type scenario, but
a little different. But yeah,
you know what I mean. Like save him for the week to go to a better scenario. And he's itching to play. He said it. He doesn't like missing games. I don't blame him. But at the end of the day, you got to get healthy to be able to help your team. He's still listed as questionable. It's a 1:00 game, so we'll be able to tell you on Sunday. Check me out. Bucky Irving, he is not going to be playing this week. He's been ruled out. They are saying that next week is probably the week he'll be back. So
Todd Bowles said that to the press this morning after the Buccaneers practice, where he said that Bucky Irving is definitely trending toward a start next week. So Bucky Irving is beat up the way that Travis Etienne was last year. Shoulder, foot, like he's just beat up everywhere, and it's just taking a while. Bucky, I don't believe needed surgery on anything. He's been okay. And So you can definitely keep an eye on the situation. Hopefully you people have been holding on to Bucky in an IR slot. We could see a week 13 return.
Yeah, he's been also dealing with some mental stuff too to like get back into the game. So there's a couple of other things going on, and that's why he's been kind of been held back a little bit. So, but wait, he'll be back.
I can only imagine.
Yeah, no, of course. These guys are in a tough role. Isaiah Pacheco, he's been ruled out this week. He's probably not going to be back for a week or two. Tootin and Travis Etienne are both off the report, so they should be both good to go. Alvin Kamara, he is actually limited all week. He is listed as questionable and should be closer to a game time decision, but we'll wait and see. He's been playing, so he's fine.
He plays the Falcons.
Yeah, which is even worse. Falcons,
Jaylen Warren also has an ankle injury, no longer has a tag, also good to go.
There you go.
Against the Bears.
That was going to be my next one.
Yeah, no, I saw you skipped over Alvin, and I'm like, I'll take Jaylen.
No, you're right. Yeah. No, so he's good. He did start the week off without a practice, limited, and then full. He's good to go. Kenneth Walker is another guy that just was added to the injury report today. He's good, though. Mike McDonald said he's fine. It's, when anything comes up, they have to put him on the injury report. He's fine.
It's looking like Ken Walker's getting more work than Zach Charbonnet on a more consistent basis. We'll see if it sticks.
And he keeps saying that he earns more touches and then never gives it to him, and it's a pain in the ass. Trey Benson is out. Bam Knight has no tag, so Bam Knight will be taking over this week. Wide receiver injuries are easier. Drake London, we know he's out, PCL. Marvin Harrison Jr. is recovering from an appendix surgery. He's been ruled out. Brian Thomas Jr., his ankle, still not ready. He's been ruled out. Alec, I'm going to butcher the name.
Alec Iomanor.
There we go. Is out as well this week. The only guy that's currently tagged as questionable is Xavier Worthy. He is, they said he should be good. I haven't heard anything against the contrary. So, tight ends, we're going to go with Sam Laporta. He had surgery. He's likely done for the year.
He's done.
It's 4 weeks to recover even from any minor surgery. He's out.
Yeah.
David Njoku, he was limited Friday. He was listed as questionable. I just checked before we got on. He's not listed anymore with a designation, so he should be good to go.
I don't know if it's going to matter because if Shadur can't get the ball in people's hands, it's going to be terrible for all the pass catchers the Browns have, which is like 3 if they're lucky. 2 tight ends and 1 wide receiver, Cedric Tillman.
Yeah, it's going to be Cedric Tillman, Jerry Jeudy.
Jerry who?
With Thrash. They brought in...
Jamari Thrash is out too. He's not playing.
Oh, he's out. No, they brought in, I think, Davis. Someone that he knows, someone that he like worked out with a bunch. I think like Isaiah Davis no, not Isaiah Davis. They brought in somebody that he knows, and they were like they activated him as of recently because he has some type of rapport. I forgot the guy's name off the top of my head. He's like some nobody practice squad guy that I can't remember off the top of my head.
If you can believe it, Malachi Corley got 2 catches in that last game against the Ravens.
Oh, there you go. Go Malachi Corley.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, I think it's time to get to your questions here. I know you guys have been antsy. Let's get that started. Galaxy Pickers, good to see you again.
Yes. So we got trade London and Adunze for Hampton and Jeddah. Would you do it?
Remind me who Jeddah is?
JJ, Justin Jefferson.
That's right. I forgot that was one of his nicknames. I should know. I'm a rival fan of his.
I was going to say.
But, I mean... So, Galaxy Pickers, I don't know which side you have, what you're trying to accomplish with this. We just need a little more information in addition to whether or not this is a PPR league, how big is this league. So, if you could give us a little more info on this league and the context behind this trade, let us know. That'll help me give you a better answer. But at this point, I mean, what I will say is that Drake London is not out for the season. No. Odunze's a guy that I don't want to give up too easily, despite the Bears' offense being a bit of a mess at times. Omarion Hampton's coming back, and that's going to be a great thing for the Chargers after their bye week. And unfortunately, Justin Jefferson will have to deal with the struggles of J.J. McCarthy as he gets used to the Minnesota Vikings. I have a whole rant on people who are already counting out J.J. McCarthy when it's way too early to act like he's a bust already. It's only been 5 regular season games.
Oh, yeah.
since he entered the NFL. So, yeah. Anyway, Galaxy Pickers, let us know more because I don't know which side you would be getting and receiving.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. I would need a little bit more, but it seems as if in this particular scenario, you're essentially, if you're looking for like this week, you're essentially getting a Dunze for Justin Jefferson, and that honestly, I don't want at this point. I'd rather have a Dunze, which is sad to say, considering Caleb. But if you need a running back, I understand it. I'd rather have Hampton and Jetta at the end of the day because London with Kirk Cousins has not been that profitable. And I'd rather have that type of thing, but you're kind of taking a downgrade, but it's kind of an upgrade if you get my drift. You know
Who
what
does
I mean?
profit? Who does profit from Kirk Cousins?
Nobody, unfortunately. And I like
Yeah.
Kirk Cousins too. I always viewed Kirk Cousins as if I were to play football, who I would be. As a person. Spartacus the Marine, what's going on, man? Great to have you on the show today. He goes, my running back room is CMC, Jonathan Taylor, Junkins, Hendo, Woody, Monty, and B-Rob. Okay.
Ryan Robinson Jr.
So thank you for your flex. I just traded Woody for Bucky. Your thoughts? I'm good with that.
I'm good.
Like, yeah. Unless this is
I'm very good with that.
Yeah, I mean, unless this is Dynasty, which I don't know if it is, but if it is, then I'd be a little bit less like I don't know how I'd feel for it. But if it's redraft, good job. I think you're okay at running back moving forward. Literal Dark, what's going on, man? Who should I start at wide receiver this week? Myers, Dobbs, Purcell, Pierce, or Keyshawn Boutte? Choose two, only two.
I'm going to go Jacoby Myers, and I'm not sure I'm ready to go Ricky Pearsall anymore now that the 49ers offense is a total mess. But I'd be willing to take if it's only, okay, choose only two. Yeah, I mean, I'd be willing to take a shot on Alec Pierce this week. The matchup isn't exactly, well, I mean, the matchup isn't exactly great. I mean, the Chiefs' secondary is pretty good, but they're still beatable. And making sure that Daniel Jones with Shane Steichen being out there on the field is key to this matchup because I don't think the Colts have any backup quarterbacks that would be worth a crap if for whatever reason he couldn't play. But anyway, I think Jacoby and Alec is the double move here.
Yeah, I mean, this is a tough one. Carolina has not been good as of late. They are currently 22nd against the pass. I feel a little okay about Pearsall. I think they are going to understand that they need to get him a little bit more involved to take a little bit pressure off of CMC just because of that. And I think they noticed what they did. He only had one target for one catch. They gotta give him the ball. They got to ease him back in. He had a full week of practice. They had a full week of everything. He wasn't on the report. I feel a little bit better about Pearsall this week, but I understand the reasoning of not wanting to play him. Myers is clear. Myers, I feel comfortable with. I want to say Dobbs as a safer option. Dobbs is a safer floor for you, for sure. If you faced Cook last night, I would probably play Alec Pierce as the second, as like a ceiling play. But if not, and you guys are 0-0, I'd probably play Dobbs.
It's hard to recommend Packers wide receivers because the offense is very overrated and none of their wide receivers are, in my opinion, good enough to be like starting outside or even in the slot. They're not terrible wide receivers, but they just don't know how to use their wide receivers. That's the problem.
No. But for me, Vikings are a big blitz team. They're going to have to be quick possession receivers, possession, type situations. That's where Romeo excels. That's where he does well.
Yeah, and Jordan
So-
Love is going to have a harder time escaping these blitzes too. He doesn't have the
Kind of my point.
the great spin moves and juke moves that Caleb Williams has. Jordan Love isn't slow, but he doesn't break tackles.
No, he's not. He's not really aware in the pocket. He's more of a he's more of a quick read and throw. So for him to
I don't think he's got good peripheral vision.
No. So I'm okay. Like Dobbs, I think is just a safe play. I think he's just more of a floor play for you to get at least, the 6 points you need. I don't want to throw Boutte into this particular conversation at the moment. It's a great matchup for him against the Bengals. Boutte is a boomer bust type guy that could get you 30 points this week or 0. He is somebody that is so volatile that it's so hard to predict what Boutte will do. Pierce, I like a little bit more. He's been a little bit more consistent, has a good relationship with Daniel Jones. They have a good rapport, but it's a really tough matchup against the Chiefs. The only caveat is that he won't see McDuffie that often. So I feel a little bit better about it. I'm gonna tell you Myers and Pierce, but understand what I just told you with everything else. We got Ant in the house. What's going on, man? He goes, "What up, fellas? What up, Rasta? How you doing, brother?" We got Steve. What's going on, Steven? He goes, Wandell, Sean Tucker, or David Montgomery. Pick one, half PPR. Gibbs owner as well, which kind of hurts my soul.
I don't like going Monty with Gibbs anymore because they do not run the football the same without Ben Johnson. I mean, when they had that going, it just wasn't. It's these days it just isn't the same as it used to be.
No.
Monty isn't as efficient as he used to be. He's not even being used that much in the red zone either. They're not even getting him the ball that much either. The new offensive coordinator is barely giving him like 39% of the snaps and less throughout the season. So I don't know what's going on with that. So that's why I don't want to end up flexing him. But if you really, really need to flex somebody, Sean Tucker is not a bad guy to put in there. I mean, he may not be getting two or three touchdowns again, but they do want to get him the ball more because Rachaad White sucks. And Wandale, well, I mean, if Jameis can get him the ball, cool, but catching 4 of 9 is not exactly reassuring because Detroit's secondary isn't anything to write home about, but their defense is still damn good. So I think I got to pick Sean Tucker here.
Yeah. I mean, there is conversation and there's been news reports about them trying to get Monty the ball more. They want to get him a little bit more involved to kind of, basically spare Gibbs a little bit. He's been taking on a huge workload as of late. Sean Tucker has been very good as of late, like you said. Rachaad White has not been playing the best ball lately. He is still a solid back. They will start him over Tucker. And with one more week, this is the last week you're going to be able to play Sean Tucker, when Bucky comes back. So Wandale also, I'm just not there with it. I mean, the narrative's there. It says 50 point over under. They're underdogs by 13. Real good chance that they'll get him a little bit more involved because of JMO, and JMO isn't scared of throwing the ball, which we've seen, which is nice. But at the end of the day, it's too much of a dart throw for me. I'd probably stick with Sean Tucker in half PPR. So, and he gets a lot of passes out of the backfield, so at least that can add up at the end of the day. Sean Augustine, he goes full PPR, Alec Pierce, Christian Watson, or Jerry Jeudy.
Is Sean really?
Wait. No,
Jerry Jeudy.
Juwan Jennings.
No, it's Jerry Jeudy.
Yeah, I know. Look below. He puts Juwan Jennings down here.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Forget Jerry Jeudy. Yeah. Jerry who?
I'm gonna have to go Juwan Jennings.
I will go Alec Pierce still. I think this could be a potentially good week for Pierce. I think the Chiefs defense, I mean, like I said, they have a lot of good talent in their secondary, but I just don't think it's going to be enough for this improved Colts offense. I don't want to trust Christian Watson or Juwan Jennings out there, or Jerry Jeudy for that matter, because the Packers' offense is a mess. They don't know how to use their wide receivers well. Jerry Jeudy is going to be lucky to see the football. Juwan Jennings it's fine. I mean, but I would gladly take Alec Pierce over Juwan Jennings at this point in the season. So is Sean really an Augustine, or is he just
I don't know. I'm a weirdo. Whenever I see these damn things, and if I don't understand it, it's the closest word that I get to.
I'm gonna call him Sean Augusta.
Yeah, there you go, Sean Augusta. I want to keep it on Juwan Jennings, but I understand the Pierce take. I think the Pierce, like I said, for me, the nuance to this is if you play Cook, you're playing Pierce. If you're not and you're steady and you need a little bit of security, Juwan Jennings is a safer floor.
I also just realized that he said pick 2, so I'm gonna go go Pearson Jennings.
Yeah, so then it's Pearson Jennings. I didn't go all the way down. That's my fault. So good catch on that there, Ev. Yeah, I'm gonna go both of them. It just I get to hedge my bet there. So we got Dr. Ken in the house. What's going on, Doc? Hope you're doing good. He goes limited QB options. All right, that's okay. 4-point passing touchdown. Perfect. Love it. 1 QB. All right. Burrow, if he plays. Rodgers or Rudolph if Aaron Rodgers doesn't play. Smart. Tyrod Taylor or Jameis Winston.
So I think the obvious answer here is Joe Burrow if he is able to suit up against the Patriots.
Yeah.
If not, check to see if Aaron Rodgers is able to play as well, being that I think he will find a way to get the ball in the pass catcher's hands in this really, really weird Arthur Smith offense that the Steelers are running. They'll find a way to get his completion percentage up enough. I mean, whether or not that's good or remains to be seen. And like we were talking about at the top of the show, the Bears are going to be without 3 of their linebackers, and their secondary, they're not everybody's back to full health yet. They're still rolling Nashawn Wright out there because Jalen Johnson has yet to come back. And Nashawn Wright is really good at playing the ball, but cover is a different story. He's getting better though, slowly. It's just taking him a while because he's a younger player that doesn't get a lot of active regular season playing time. And I'm proud of the young guy, but he's no Jalen Johnson. So I would say Rodgers would be the option to go if he can play, if Burrow's not playing. And if not, then I think you got to go Jameis Winston here.
Yeah, I kind of have to agree with all that. I mean, Burrow, if he plays for sure. If Burrow's out, then if Burrow's out and Rodgers is available, then I would probably go Rodgers. But if Rodgers isn't there and it's Rudolph, Taylor, and Winston, it's Winston. It's gross. It doesn't feel good, but it will work.
As long as the rest of your team makes up all the fantasy points, that's all that matters.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I think the situation for the Steelers is going to be run the damn ball. They're going to run the damn ball down their throat the whole time because why try anything else? When you have a full line of a tier of players out, it's not like they have like one missing. They have 3 of their starting linebackers out. Take advantage.
The defensive line for the Bears is getting better at stuffing the run too.
Yeah.
It's not great. Don't hear what I'm not saying.
No, I
but
get it.
They are very slowly getting better at stopping the run in this brand new Dennis Allen system that these Matt Eberflus holdovers are getting used to as well. So it remains to be seen how they will be able to make up for their 3 linebackers out. I really love Noah Sewell too. Like I'm sad that he got hurt because he was stepping up big time. But anyway, so
no, I get you. I
mean, they'll figure out how to get Jalen Warren the ball.
That's what they need to do. Just run him and run. They're gonna have to run him and Gainwell and just have at it. It's just that's the type of day they should have. We'll see. We got Ravenclaw. What's going on, man? How you doing? I know. It's Pierce. He says, "What's the deal, fellas?" Well, what the deal is full PPR. It's a 2-part question. Okay. Kyle Pitts or Theo? Let's start right there. And it's rest of season. And then who do you start?
I'm going to go Kyle Pitts.
You.
Well, I don't like
know.
Theo Johnson as much either with no Jackson Dart.
I know, and that's where I was going to go with that. But Dart will be back.
Hopefully.
Now, I wouldn't start Theo this week.
No.
I would probably play Pitts over all of them. So his question is after the fact.
Yeah.
Who do I start this week? Pitts, Theo, Chig, or Brock? I would probably start Pitts out of that. And the only reason why I would is because he actually does well with Kirk Cousins, because Kirk Cousins, that's one of his attributes. And Drake London won't be there. So they're going to have to use him a little bit more vertically.
I think this will be a much easier matchup for the Falcons too, because the Panthers defense definitely got better. They're not great, but they're a heck of a lot better than what they got going in New Orleans right now with this defeated Saints team that is led by a burned out over the hill Demario Davis, and they got guys down there who are just they're not in their prime anymore. They're not motivated. They're doing terrible under Kellen Moore. I think it'll be a little bit easier for this Falcons team that's a little beat up, but sorry, I'm Blade Pierce. I can't answer a better rest of season question, as I don't typically like to do rest of season questions because so much changes on a whim's notice that I hate to just give an answer because you look stupid when somebody important gets hurt, and then it's like,
dude.
it's your fault, you got it wrong. You know, it's like it's too much to predict. That's why we like to go week to week. But yeah, definitely start Kyle Pitts this week because he should have a much easier time against the bad Saints defense.
I agree. I mean, Pitts is just a better overall situation. Theo is probably going to be better rest of the season once Dart comes back, and it's really just because of their relationship. They tend to do a little bit better, but they do have the games where he doesn't get a catch. So because he's running the ball and basically running like Scattaboo. So at this point, I would probably trust Pitts just a smidge more this week for sure. So Sean Augusta, he says, he was thinking the Shador Judy connection. No, we are both against that.
Jerry, who?
Yeah, exactly. And he says it's Augusta or August.
Augusta.
Yeah, there we go. Let me keep going. We got Literal Dark says, I want to trust Pearsall, but I don't know because he just came back. I don't blame you, brother. I'm in the same boat. I've been holding on to Pearsall for quite some time. He's a very talented first-round pick. He really is.
I don't think Carolina's secondary is anything to write home about, but
No.
they are sneaky good at times.
They're good zone defense. They are one of the better zone defenses in the league. They play very well at it.
If Pearsall has to be covered by Horn the whole time, that's going to be tough for Pearsall.
True, but I don't know if Horn is a shadow guy. And even if he is, they might use him on Jennings or on Kittle or, keep him in. The hard part is CMC is still there. So it takes a lot of their attention. So I think it's going to be interesting to see. But you're right. JC Horn is one of the better lockdown corners that are out there on a really bad team. Well, actually, I can't say that anymore. They're actually 6-5, so they're actually a good team. It's just so weird to say. So Galaxy Pickers goes, different trade. Would you do Harvey and Adunze for Saquon and Shaheed? He has JT, Junkins, Marks, Harvey, and Tootin. Lamb, London, Adunze, and Diggs, full PPR. What's that mean?
Cusp of a first-round bye in his league, meaning he might get that luxury. I don't put that much on potentially having a top of the standings in your league thing where you get the first week bye. I mean, because, your guys still have to come through the following week anyway.
Actually, it's actually worse. I actually hate that more because of the concept that I have to sit a full week, A, not having my players put any points on the board, and B, they might get hurt in that time frame. It's not like a real game where I can pull them out of it and then they don't play and then I can use them the week after. So it's a little nerve-wracking. I don't care about that. The only time I care about that in any way, shape, or form is if my league does a payout for first. That's the only time I care. That's just
Sure.
Yeah.
So Galaxy Pickers, once again, I'm not sure which side you're talking about here. Are you talking about giving away Harvey and Odunzi in exchange for Saquon and Shahid? Saquon and Shahid.
That's
I
what it
would
looked like.
I would not trade for Shahid at this point because he's going to need a little time to get used to this Seahawk offense. I don't think he's going to. I think he could be. Shahid could be a sneaky good wide receiver during the playoffs, the championship week, especially. But I don't think that he's a must trade, especially giving away Odunzi. I'm assuming that you're giving away the first two and trying to get the last two. In a redraft league, I wouldn't do it.
No, this is definitely redraft, and at this point, I'm not doing it. I rather have the group that you currently have and roll with it. I mean, you definitely, if you're dropping currently, if you drop Odunze for Shahid, you're running a lineup with Lamb, Shahid, and Diggs this week. I'd rather have Lamb, Odunze, and Diggs over Lamb, Shahid, and Diggs. Like, don't do that. It's not worth it. He should be good soon, but not for a minute. Just give it take what you got and move on. Like, just leave it the way you have it. Literal goes, but I also heard Pierce has the hardest matchup.
Yeah. That's kind of what I was talking about too. That Chief secondary, it is good, but they have gotten blown away many, many times in a lot of their matchups. I will confess I haven't watched a lot of Chiefs games to give you more details than that, but I mean, when you're giving up 27 points to the Chargers, 25 to the Jaguars, and they lost that game against the Jaguars, and then 28 to Buffalo and 22 to Denver, they are very, very beatable. They've been giving up over 300 yards in a lot of games this year. I wouldn't put too much on their talented secondary. I think that Pierce, once he burns somebody and gets open and goes deep, that's where he's going to cash in. So Alec Pierce, I think you're fine starting him as like a low end wide receiver 2 or wide receiver 3 in your lineup.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to probably play they're going to try. What I believe that they're going to try to do is play a lot of cover 2 to try to keep everything underneath as much as possible to take away the deep threat with Alec Pierce and also take away the deep threat with Michael Pittman, who can also go downfield and is a good contested catcher. I think that it's going to be a lot of underneath this game. Hold on, I have to go back and look because I was just looking up the corners just to kind of get myself reacquainted with their particular group. But it's a 50-point over/under. I can see this game staying on the under, and it's only really because of the concept that both defenses are actually pretty good. DeForest Buckner not being in there is the only caveat to that. He's a big part of their defense, but the Colts find a way to win, and Jonathan Taylor is a big part of that. It's two really strong, defense and offensive fronts that are currently going to be dealt with in this, situation. I think JT is going to have the harder day than the passing offense. I think they're going to try to utilize Daniel Jones and his passing prowess, which I know I've seen for years. But at the end of the day, I think they're going to try to get those guys like Alec Pierce and them open more. Try to use Tyler Warren a little bit. So little things like that, I think they're going to try. It's going to be a tough matchup. I would have lower expectations, but out of the group that you had, he's just the best option. So,
yeah.
Let's move on to Derek Dortch. What's going on, Derek? He goes, Michael Wilson, T-Mac, or T. Higgins need 2 in full PPR. Also, Purdy and Brissett.
In this case, I never thought I'd be saying this, but
I know.
I think it's got to be Michael Wilson and Tetaroa McMillan. I never thought I'd say that for those two, but San Francisco's secondary is very beatable because, I mean, let's be honest. I mean, more than half of the 49ers are injured, and Michael Wilson has a juicy matchup against the secondary in Jacksonville that can't really stop a lot. I don't count on Michael Wilson getting another 18 targets this week, but hey, man, even if he gets 9 and catches plenty for like 80 or 90 yards and maybe falls in the end zone, that would be thrilling. Michael Wilson is a terrible red zone target, which is something to keep in mind, but you don't necessarily need it for solid PPR points, which is exactly proof of last week when he faced the 49ers. T. Higgins is in a messy offense that Flacco can get him the football, but he clearly loves having, I mean, even then, I don't know if he's going to see more or if it's going to be Andre Josefus taking more volume away against a really tough Patriots defense. So I don't want to, I'm worried about this Patriots defense. I think the Bengals are possibly going to get killed in this matchup in a low scoring affair. So
Or underdogs by
I
7,
gotta go.
so.
I gotta go. Michael Wilson and Tetaroa here.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to agree. The one, if Burrow's in, it kind of changes my thought process a little bit, and it would make me lean a little bit towards Higgins just because they have a good relationship. It's a good matchup for him. Higgins has always done well when Chase is out. I think if you had to pick one consistent thing out of the wide receivers that you have, Michael Wilson is in a good scenario versus Jacksonville. I'll take it. Tetaroa McMillan, I feel a little bit better about. I'll go with T-Mac, but the caveat, if Burrow plays, the only person that I would probably switch out is Wilson for Higgins. That would be my only caveat. And it's nothing more than just I can't see a world where I could play one over the other if with Burrow being the better QB out of the group. Now, when it comes to the QBs that you listed, this is a lot more. This is a lot more fun. Purdy or Brissett? You know that Brissett's been a top 12 quarterback the last however weeks that he's been playing. He's always been a top 12.
He has 5 games in a row in which he threw 2 touchdown passes. That's is good. Crazy good.
Yeah, that's very good.
He's overachieving for what the Cardinals are as a team right now without Marvin Harrison Jr. And I think they're missing another wide receiver too, if I'm not mistaken. I think it's who are they missing? Maybe it's a mistake. But they're also
Zay Jones. But
yeah, they're missing Zay Jones. They're missing Trey Benson. They're gone from James Conner. So they're missing a lot of key pieces in that offense. And Brissett's doing a darn good job, which is really embarrassing for Kyler Murray. But I don't want to talk about him anymore. I'm still going to go Brock Purdy, though, because he has the potential to throw more than 2 touchdown passes.
Fair enough. I really do like Brissett. I got to give him the credit where credit is due. He's been playing real well, but I'm going to go Purdy. I picked up Purdy pretty much everywhere that I had a situation like Bo Nix being out or something like that. So Purdy's the guy. This is a great question. So who do you trust more, Purcell or Pierce? I'm going to give you my answer. It's going to be Purcell, and it's really just because of the situation and the matchup that they have against Carolina. I just feel a little bit better about it. I think that at this point you have to look at his particular situation that he had last week. There's a lot of times in the NFL that you've noticed where a guy gets a goose egg the next week. It's the first pass, and then they continue on with that guy throughout the game. It is their particular, way of doing things. Maybe last week was not his week. That's okay. They might get him a little bit more involved this week. I think it's a ramp-up period for him as well. So they're trying to get him a little bit more involved. Pierce going against his Chiefs defense is a very difficult matchup. We already said it. It's going to be that type. But the game script should be around that, I don't want to say gunslinger mentality, but it's going to go back and forth. And it's going to be a lot of 3 and outs that you're going to see. And it's going to be it's going to be annoying to watch. But they're going to get involved. But it's not going to be what you want. You have to lower the expectation. Pierce has never been this active in his career. When you start seeing people being like, oh, he's going to get this money, like he's going to be getting, Darius Slayton money. And I'm laughing and I'm like, yeah, 3 for 30. Like, that's not a horrible number, but it's not a great number either.
No.
So, my whole point is that he isn't that great, but it's one of those, he's been producing well. He's a contested long field catch guy. That's about it. Pearsall is a very good, solid receiver that can do it all. Get out of here. Don't you dare. No. Go back to your bedroom.
Kendall.
What's up, boys?
Find some time?
Hey, man, but between coffees, we're fitting in 1 glass of wine for boys.
Oh, yeah.
Man. Happy Friday night. We just changed one hell of a diaper.
Cheers, brother.
We're doing all right though.
There you go. Those first months. Good for you.
Wasn't sure if
So-
I'd make it for a few, but hey, man, good to see you boys. Cheers.
Yeah, cheers. One thing I'll say to Literal Dark, I know you're having a difficult time deciding between the two. There's a lot of good arguments to make for either one. You could even make a case to flip a coin for them, but as far as Ricky Pearsall's role in the 49ers offense goes, I'm not ready to agree with Mike on this one. I need to see him be more comfortable in this offense while healthy, and now that Brock Purdy is back, that's good for him. But Alec Pierce is definitely a much more established guy in this Colts offense who is getting the targets, even if it is against a tougher secondary in the Kansas City Chiefs. I don't think that's enough to scare me away from Alec Pierce if you really need a last wide receiver to stick in your lineup. I'm just not ready to trust Pearsall yet, but honestly, either way that you go, I don't think either one's a bad decision.
Yeah. Kendall, I know you're just now coming in and joining us.
Dude, give me some Alec Pierce, baby.
Okay.
Easily.
That's what I
Alec
said.
Pierce. I love it. Look.
So
I mean,
I'm
simply
the
put,
out.
even though we think Pierce is a deep threat, and he absolutely is in his own right?
Truly.
He still caught all those passes from A-Rich back in the day, who has him, and they were probably 20 yards away from him. He just had to track that ball down, right? But we're
Now it's
starting
actually
to
a
see
good ball.
the target share across a long game sample, right? He's pretty much cut the legs off of Josh Downs and ruined that 10 target a game pace. I think Alec Pierce is all the consistency that you wish Ricky Pearsall had last week or maybe this week, but he already has that. Pearsall just has a higher ceiling to go past it, but I don't think he's doing it this week. He might not even do it next week. And with Christian McCaffrey having the target share, I think he's probably going to surpass 100 catches this week. I think, or pretty close to it. He's going to get in the high 90s. Alec Pierce for sure, especially in a game script where I think they should be playing from behind. I think the Chiefs are going to have to play a little bit of offense. Sign me up.
Okay. You got all your arguments. Enjoy. Or your viewpoints. So enjoy that. Whoever you feel necessary going with, enjoy. I am sorry for you there, Little. That's a tough scenario either way. Nino, what's going on? He goes, what's going on, fellas? What's going on, Nino? Always great to see you today. He goes, need to flex this week. All right, big play bonus. So remember that. I already know one of the answers, at least for Kendall. Not a problem, Literal. That's what we're here for, to help you out. If you have any other questions, don't hesitate to ask. And also, I'll be here on Sunday morning to help you guys out with last second stuff. Pick 2. Tez, Hunt, Sean Tucker, Algier. Big play bonus.
Kendall, you just got here. You go first.
Yeah.
All right. Thinking it through live with you. My first in, easily Sean Tucker. I'm super in. I'm like ridiculously in on Sean Tucker. Pass the eye test. Team that needs it. I like Tez. Guys, I like Tez, but it's a bigger dynasty thing. He's a great role player for them right now, but he's gonna have to earn his way into the pecking order, for the rest of the year. Chris Godwin's coming back. I think if Godwin gets banged up and goes back out, we can start having the Tez conversation again. But primarily what I'm talking about is similar to the 49ers. I think Tampa Bay wants to run through its running game a little bit. I think they want to take some pressure off of Baker, have a little more control of the game script. They haven't really had a running game that they feel good about in 8-9 weeks, realistically, not since I think, week 4 was the last good run game I think I had from with Bucky. So I think they're going to lean on Sean Tucker all the way in all phases of the game. So definitely Sean's my first in. After that, it's pretty close. I don't see any of the rest of them having a big play, but I like the fact that Algier has like a 50% touchdown rate on any given day. I like their matchup a lot. I feel like he falls in the end zone. He's also probably going to be like a decently profitable anytime touchdown bet. I think that's going to be a profitable one. So give me Sean Tucker. Give me Algier.
I love it.
I am not ready to go Algier because of the inconsistency that he gets according to game script. So Bijan Robinson is still the lead back, and Tyler Algier, we know we'll see anywhere between 20 and 40% of the snaps depending on how the game is going. If they end up playing down to the competition for the Saints, they won't run the ball as much. They'll have to throw more. So that being said, I think that Algier's too risky of a play. Give me Sean Tucker, give me Kareem Hunt, because there's no Isaiah Pacheco again this week. Hunt has a bit of his work cut out for him against a tough Colts front line I don't remember if DeForest Buckner is healthy.
Nope.
He's not, but either way, like they have a pretty good defense, but that's not going to scare me away from the 11 to 13 touches that Kareem Hunt will get, and they love running the ball with him in the red zone too, which you hate it. You hate it if you're a shareholder of a Chiefs wide receiver or tight end, but they love using their run game down there. So yeah, give me Sean Tucker, give me Kareem Hunt.
Yeah, I'm going to have to lean the way that Evan's going here, and I was going to bring up one little fun stat. Inside the 5, Kareem Hunt this year, 10 attempts, 15 yards, and 6 touchdowns. So he's getting over 50%, and he's doing very well. I am going to go with Hunt and Tucker for sure. So I think Tez was the one that I think we all agree is just not, made for this, even though
Tez is a fantastic dynasty hold. If any of you listening are in dynasty leagues, you better hold on to Tez Johnson. Because the Tampa Bay Buccaneers definitely look like they want to get him involved with Emeka Egbuka when Godwin and Evans are no longer on the team. So
it's going to be McMillan, him, and Tez Johnson, and it's going to be a good 3 wide receiver set once they get everything moving.
I'm not even convinced it's going to be McMillan at this point. That guy can't stay healthy.
Well, I mean, it's a neck injury. It's going to be a minute.
Injury.
Yeah,
a neck injury is really hard to come back from.
Oh, I don't disagree. My point is that if he comes back healthy and all that, they're going to be a real tough, trio to take down.
I think even Peyton Manning was never the same after his neck injury.
No, never was. But like I said, it's one of those things where we have to wait and see. I love the talent before the neck injury, so hopefully that all works out the way it does. But either way,
he was a beast at Washington. You know, I like my boys from Washington.
Yes, you do. So we got Dr. Ken in the house. He goes flex 2 and drop 1, full PPR redraft.
Spicy.
Why do we have to drop 1?
I don't know. We'll find out.
I love that it's flex 2 drop 1. By the way,
I've never seen that. That's awesome.
Yeah, this is fantastic. Dr. Ken, dude, how you doing, man? I love seeing you post the Discord, dude. Sorry about last week, homie.
Nah, come on now. You are not allowed to say you're sorry. We got Ramondre Stevenson. We got Sean Tucker, I'm assuming. Parker Washington, Tez Johnson, and Rashid Shaheed. Who are we flexing here?
Sean Tucker.
I know I'm dropping.
Who you drop? Okay, we'll go with that. Who are you dropping?
Given what I'm looking at here, I am dropping Ramondre. Unless I need to play him, I look at Ramondre as such a cap ceiling. Like I can't even. He's like Nick Chubb at this point. He's a worse Tony Pollard. Maybe I don't think he gets it back. Maybe it's worth it for like injury considerations. Like just hold your running backs because injuries happen. That's a thing. It's either that or Tez. I could see getting rid of Tez, but if we're talking about flexing Parker Washington and Shaheed at this point, I'm guessing you have some good players on bye. I'm hoping, right? If injuries tore you apart and this is a weekly thing, then I'm actually like Tez is like an injury away from actually getting back on the field in a pretty meaningful way, more so than Stevenson, in my opinion, who's going to be in and out because of injury. One of those two is my drop. I don't know. And then Sean Tucker is my first in. I don't know. What do you guys think for the second? And are you guys both in on Tucker? Is your first in?
Definitely.
I kind of like Parker this week.
I was leaning Parker for my second. I think
I like Parker Washington this week a lot versus the Cardinals, and it's really because Will Johnson will be taking on most of the responsibility of at this point Jacoby Meyer. So I like Parker a little bit more. Tucker, I think is. I want to actually I want to say Stevenson more than anything, and it's really because of the matchup versus the Bengals. They trust him. They get him involved. I understand Henderson's going to take away from his particular, ceiling, and I get that. That's fine. I still think that a lot of teams have done that this year where they're playing both their running backs and they've been carving the Bengals.
Patriots have a nasty history of going with the other guy at the goal line, man.
They always go with the guy
Patriots should trade for Algier, and his situation won't change at all. It'll be
Right?
fantastic.
Oh my God. No, please don't wish
I have
that
owned the
upon
Patriots
me.
RB2 for like 10, 15 years in fantasy, and it's always paid off week
Please
10
don't
plus.
wish that upon any of my teams
Oh,
at this
God.
point, please.
Yeah, that was basically LeGarrette Blunt 9 years ago, right?
Oh, God.
Yeah, dude, he was so
I
consistent
love
on like
LeGarrette Blount.
8 touches, man.
But I mean,
anyway,
Cincinnati's 30th against the run.
yeah. So Ken, I just realized I didn't give the full answer here. So in this case, I'm gonna go Sean Tucker, and then I'm gonna go Parker Washington. As much as I don't want to, because I don't trust the Jacksonville passing weapons outside of Jacoby Myers. But yeah, if you're moving Stevenson off of IR, I think you can make a case to drop Ramondre Stevenson at this point, because now that we're seeing Travion Henderson being a guy who's proven that he can handle a big workload, I don't think he's going to be getting 19 carries when Ramondre comes back and he's playing. But Henderson is not going to lose that lead role. I think they're going to keep him with that lead role. And Ramondre is going to be playing as his backup at that point. I think it could be like potentially a 60-40 split, which is not enough to make me keep Ramondre at this point. We were just talking about how the Patriots RB2 is usually sneaky good value, but I mean, now that the Belichick days are gone, I don't want to trust that anymore. I think they really want to keep the ball in Travion Henderson's hands. And he had a really hard time getting going. Remember, the first 7 weeks he was sputtering, and now we figured it out against the Cleveland Browns, which is not an easy matchup either. So I think you have a strong enough case to drop Ramondre. I don't want to hold him anymore anyway.
Where'd you end in a classic?
I can't. I have him on my teams. I already dropped people to keep him on my team. I like Stevenson a lot. I think that I am just notorious for keeping players that are right at their prime of not being prime anymore.
Hey, man, I've been a J.K. Dobbins and Tony Pollard guy, so
yeah,
sometimes it ends, dude. It's cool.
I'm just not there yet. I like what they're doing. They're going to have to run the ball. They're going to have to be able to use both backs effectively. I like what Stevenson can do. I'd rather cut Tez Johnson out of this group. It's just my own opinion. It's really just because he's third in the pecking order, fourth if you really think about it at the end of the day. If Godwin plays,
flip a coin blind, like between the two, do you really feel like you're losing either?
No,
Let me ask you this: what if I made you drop two, and then pick a blind pick? You don't know his league, you don't know his waiver.
I would be
fine just dropping both and picking your favorite anything off the waiver wire, because that's how I look at it. So it's like
I rather
either one you want, drop both.
I'd rather keep Stevenson and Tucker, and it's really just because of re-aggravation for Bucky and Stevenson. I understand he's the one that's hurt, but he should be fine. Parker Washington is probably the other, but it's hard for me to pick Shaheed yet, just because I know the potential of what could be there. Just Tez, to me, I like Tez. I'm a big fan of him. I understand it. I see what you guys see. But for redraft, it's not worth my time. I'd rather Dynasty, completely agree. He should be on your list and be on your team. Stevenson, cut him. But if this is redraft, which it is, I'm keeping Stevenson and Tucker, because you cannot argue to me that there are running backs available on your waiver wire that are better than Stevenson in his scenario.
By next week, Devin Neal could be a thing, man.
Enough with your Devin Neal.
It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen at
rhetoric.
Some point.
No.
All my point is that I rather have those two guys at the end of the day. Tez, to me, is just is fodder out of this whole group, and it's only because of his situation.
If I have to bench stash a running back, I have at least 3 names that take over Stevenson, as I don't play them unless their situation improves.
Well,
I would stash Keaton Mitchell over Stevenson on the ungodly chance something happened to Henry. Dude, the Ravens on their tear to trying to clinch the division and keep Mitchell takes there. Oh,
don't listen.
That would be so good.
Let me give you another reason to not trust Ramondre moving forward.
No, don't
Fumble! Fumble-rooski! Fumble-rooski! Try it. Say it.
Mike, I'm going to buy you a Ramondre Stevenson jersey, man. Guys,
I'm trying
can we
so
get enough
hard right now.
Jets to get Mike Ramondre jersey. He's got to wear it on string.
Yeah, he's got to get at least 3 touches for me to not wear it.
Tez was going to be my other answer to potentially drop as well because, like we were saying earlier, he's a dynasty stash. He's not somebody you want to trust in redraft. I get the argument that, yeah, there's not going to be a lot of other great, like, valuable low-end flex running backs you can get, but with Ramondre's ball security issues, and I think he's going to be losing a lot of work to Travion, I'm not convinced he's worth holding anymore.
All right, I'll just run my gamut here. Jerome Ford or Stevenson.
Stevenson.
Yuck. Throw them both out.
Anybody other than Jerome Ford.
All right.
Ugh.
Brandon Smith.
Who?
Brashard?
Brashard
Smith.
Does Brashard even get carries anymore?
Gross.
No, but he might have 3 catches on 4 targets, and that is definitely going to smoke
the same key term keeps popping up. Would you take Michael Carter or Ramondre?
I don't look at Michael Carter as an NFL player.
Exactly. Devin Singletary.
Yeah, Singletary, baby.
All right.
I think they call him Motor.
As weird as it sounds, I would consider Singletary for rest of season over Ramondre.
Okay. Isaiah.
Because I'm not saying Singletary's a good running back, but have you seen Tyrone Tracy? Like, he'll embarrass the Packers, but I ain't trusting that rest of the season.
Parker Washington hit the wrong position.
Well, all right, come on. And this is a 10-team league, just to give you perspective. So I have those guys available on my waiver wire currently. This is probably a 12-team for Dr. Ken. So Singletary ain't there. Neither is Carter. Neither is Ford. So then you're going with either Caleb Johnson, you're going with Chris Brooks, Raheem Mostert, Tajay Brooks, and Will Shipley and/or Malik Davis. Those are your guys that you're picking from. Would you pick any of those guys over a guy like Stevenson? No. I'm sorry.
I would need to know more from Dr. Ken, though.
You probably haven't. I'm looking up the leagues I'm in with Dr.
I'm just saying, like, I'm looking at a 10-team league that is competitive and knows what they're doing, and not one of them I would never drop Stevenson at this point. Never. I would drop Tez in a heartbeat so that I could have any of that scenario that he currently has. And would I play Stevenson this week? Yes. I would be okay with playing him in the matchup versus the Bengals. 30th against the run. They are horrible. They are one of the worst that are against the run. I'm playing Stevenson in this matchup. And because of the point total as well, 51 point total, and the narrative of the Patriots being 7-point favorites, I'm going to use every bit of my bit to make that a lock for this week. Tucker, I'm okay with as well. And then the rest you can do what you like. I'm sticking to it.
Jersey's coming your way, man. Need your address.
Yay! I can't wait. I get a new jersey that I can burn. So the frogs are back. What's going on, man? He goes, set this lineup. Oh, come on. Yeah, you got to set your own lineup, but I'll set it for you.
We can go position by position.
I know. We'll go one. All right. So let's go with the 1 QB, and it looks like Purdy or Dak.
Purdy.
That's kind of close. I still love me some Dak, even with the Cowboys struggles. I do. Come back to me in a bit.
I gotta Purdy through though. Like you can't get me off Purdy.
I'm going Purdy.
I have Brock Purdy at QB8 and Dak Prescott at QB9. Honestly, I would probably take the easier matchup with Brock Purdy. I mean, Carolina's secondary, like we were talking about, is underrated, but it's going to be an easier defense to beat up on. Give me Brock Purdy.
I got Brock at 8 and Dak at 10, so I'm going Brock. 2 running backs: Kyron, Rico, Hendy, Swift.
Rico and Hendy.
Who's the Rams matchup?
Rams are going against the Bucks.
Can't run the Bucks very well. Rico, Hendy.
I'm gonna go Rico and Kyron. Wait.
Kyron's still getting in the lineup. He's just going in the flex.
Wait. Hold on 1 second. Nope. I am going Kyron or Rico and Swift.
Whoa.
I'm gonna go Rico and Swift.
I'm not ready to go Swift against the. I mean, the Steelers suck at defense these days, but I think Monungai is going to take a lot of volume too. They're trying to do the 2-back approach, like what Ben Johnson did with Gibbs and Monty.
I just don't trust us yet. Like, I still think, like, look at Caleb's like box scores in fantasy, and you're like, Jesus, that's a roller coaster. I have no idea if the whole offense is going to score 6 points or 46. I really can't tell. But it makes me nervous.
I love the chaos.
60-40.
I'll take the chaos to a 7-3. Let's go.
Yeah.
I like Kyron out of all of them, to be quite honest. I'm a big Kyron fan, but I would probably flex him out of this group. But then the 2 wide receivers, you got Lamb and Buka, J-Mo, Tet. Who you start? And I think it's Lamb and Buka without thinking too hard about that.
Yeah, easily Lamb and Buka.
Easy.
And
we only
then
got one flex though. Oh my god.
See, the one flex makes it interesting with your choices. That's why I'm okay with playing Kyron and doing Kyron, Rico, and Swift.
Can we knock out tight end just real quick?
Let's knock out tight end. Hunter Henry.
It's Hunter Henry. Yeah, for all of us.
Now the flex.
Wow. I'm telling you, I'm going Kyron. I understand the matchup. I'm good with it.
Flip a coin on the tight ends. They're back to back for me.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Kyron and flex too.
Yeah, like I can't. I like Hendy, but it's hard to tell what's going to happen in that group. I'd rather go with the volume, and I know
full PPR, right?
Yeah.
Frogs.
I'm assuming. Just assume it's full.
I think you're putting too much on Stevenson, man.
No Laporta. What J-Mo's doing?
I know. That's the.
Oh, don't worry. Brock Wright and what's his face? Some no-name wide receiver in that offense is going to steal a touchdown, and it's not going to go to J-Mo. You watch.
Yeah, like Isaiah Tesla.
No, it's going to go. It's going to go to an offensive lineman or.
Oh, there you go.
Khalif Raymond.
Oh God, no more Khalif Raymond, man. Jesus. I have to like really lock in Hendy. And can I go Rico over Kyron in the Rams offense?
Yeah,
I mean you can.
God.
You're basically picking 3 running backs and 2 of the wide receivers in this case.
I get better,
and it's hard to not play
Rico
J-Mo
Kyron,
against the Giants, man. I get it.
I'm gonna go Hendy and Rico. Yeah, I'm gonna go Hendy and Rico, and then Lamb, Magbuka, J-Mo. Kyron somehow got bumped for J-Mo. That's super close. I feel like Kyron has to get in the end zone. If he doesn't get in the end zone, I think he just scores 10 points, and it's kind of boring.
It is, and right
but
now,
it's safe.
Right now, Tampa's pretty good against the run. I mean, they're not.
Rico's
overall.
got the passing game flair, though. Like he's not amazing. Rico's like a better David Montgomery in the passing game, like in terms of usage. Like he's not a pass catching back, but like somehow look at his targets. He actually gets like too many, and they're kind of deep.
Monty can catch passes if you force feed him.
But not an anti-Monty take. It's just like
yeah.
When you start Monty, you're not like, dude's gonna catch 5 passes, right? You're like, yeah, he's probably catching at least 3 though. Analysts and Monty's the guy that analysts always get wrong. It's like he's just too damn involved, and he still lingers in usage. That's tough, man. You're winning your matchup though, right? Like the team is disgusting.
Yeah, I'm liking it. It's so hard for me. Like I like the Hendy matchup more than I like the Kyron matchup, but it's hard for me to play Hendy over Kyron.
Okay, so question here though: would you start Ramondre over J-Mo? Oh, the sarcasm just went over classic, man. You killed me there.
No, I wouldn't. Shut up. Anyway, so we are a little bit split on Purdy and Dak. We went 2-1 on that one. We are a little split on the running backs, and we're also split on the wide receivers. I think the main gist was Tet's out of it, and Otten. Those are the 2 that are out.
Frogs are back. Just, give us your username and password and pay us handsomely. We'll set your lineup for you. Okay, don't actually type that in the chat, please.
No, love to have you in the Discord though. That's one I'd love to see a community poll on. I feel like our audience is pretty sharp for the most part. To be honest with you.
I like that.
I'm curious what the community would think.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to plug our Discord. Make sure those that are new to the show, make sure you guys are checking out our Discord. It's in the description below. We have a lot of great people in there. We have Evan, we have Kendall, we have myself. I do the injury news. We do a lot of communication with you guys and keep up. And everybody in this, everybody in this chat pretty much is in there. If you guys are new to the show and just getting involved. So Nino goes, plug in Swift over Brees, Junkins, Tet, or keep all those three in.
I love that you say Junkins instead of Judkins.
I'm a weirdo. It's my accent.
You're the Swift guy, right? Like how spicy are you on him? This
Swift.
question is like made for you.
Sorry, go ahead.
I like Swift a lot, man. He's very. I like what they're doing with them going against the Steelers. Steelers are actually pretty decent against the run. That the more I keep looking at it, the matchup against the 49ers is not horrible. The game script shows that it's going to be them having to pass to keep up. It's 7 point. The 49ers are favored by 7, 49 point over under. I'm going to have to go. I think I might keep everything the same. The only caveat would be, I think Brees or Swift, right? Like, would you want Brees versus the Ravens, who are actually not great against the run?
I would.
I mean, actually, they're 18th, so they're like middle of the pack at this point. Would you rather have Brees or Swift versus the number 12?
Jets are going to have to give the ball to Brees because they don't have any pass catchers that are worth a damn. And Judkins is getting a good run game from Judkins is of utmost importance if they want to stand a chance to compete, which I don't think they will. But Judkins has not been efficient for like 5 games in a row, which is a little concerning. But I still have all 3 of those guys over Swift in my flex rankings.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. That's tough.
What do you think, Kendall?
Yeah, no, I don't like that Swift lost the goal line, and I don't think our offense is currently set up to pass to the running back very often. And that's a credit to Ben Johnson. I do think there's basically always a good throw in our offense. I every snap I've watched, I think we actually suffer from not drops, but like Caleb's throwing 200-mile fastballs. Sometimes
I don't understand it. We were saying that the other day.
Crazy.
He needs to learn
drops,
touch.
though.
He's
never going to throw a pick, man. I mean, it's awesome that that's just not a thing. We need like some sticky gloves or something, though, man.
All he needs is touch.
It's similar to like Gibbs is not catching a crazy ton of passes, this year. I think Detroit is set up. There's always a good throw. If you have a quarterback that can make the throws, there's always a good throw. I think that about our offense. I don't think Swift is a good enough option. And Caleb's going to learn one day to drop it off, but he's got to learn the game ahead of him first. And I think that's the focus. And so I think that peels back. Was last week and the week before. I definitely saw we gave Swift a touch at the goal line. It just didn't work. And immediately Monangai was in there and punched it in. It was one of those, it wasn't box scores. You had to watch the game. You had to see Swift is just not the better goal line back. Monangai just clearly is. He's the guy in practice. So I think that caps Swift's ceiling in a way that Brees has an uncapped ceiling. It doesn't happen all the time, right? You're rolling the dice with him, but his bad game is still 8 points. That's still a bad game for Brees. And I think probably the same for Swift. They have similar floors, to be honest, but the ceiling is significantly different. And more often than not, I want to play for ceiling. I always want to play for just max PPG when I can, when the floors are similar. So that's how I'm going there. And the other guys are just tiers above.
Even Tet?
If it's a close enough, Tet's still a tier above just in terms of that ceiling. I mean, if you look, like there's been a couple weird weeks, but Tet's still like one. He's just that guy. I firmly believe in talent. When Bryce has a good game, it's hard for me to see Tet not having an unreal game. And I think Bryce is starting to play his way into a little bit of form. Nothing crazy. I'm not going to get.
I mean, last week was his career high, and like almost wasn't it an NFL high at like 450 or 445 or something like that?
Yeah, I forget the specific records. I know it was a franchise high. It was. He set a couple records there. Nothing NFL worthy.
But still, my point is that he's
going to have some confidence coming off of that, though, right? One of the problems with Bryce for me has always been he doesn't understand NFL Open. It's a big deal for him, especially when he can't
100%.
see. He's kind of got some Kyler issues there. I haven't seen Kyler play half that good in a long time. I'm just happy to see that Bryce has some ceiling and has a game to him. There's not a bad NFL defense. It's still an NFL defense. Like the Bengals and Dallas are atrocious, but
Would you
can
play
still do
Swift
something.
over Tet though?
I'm still playing Tet. I don't think Swift gets in the end zone. I think the chances are sub 30% that Swift gets in the end zone. Tet's got to be closer to 45, 50 in my opinion. And that touchdown, that's 6.7 on the catch. It's just too big of a swing from a mathematical standpoint for me.
Speaking of McMillan, I can't stand the fact that he hates the nickname Tet. It's such a good nickname, man. And he said himself he doesn't like it.
Yeah, he likes his T-Mac. He wants to be cool. All those young kids wanting to be cool. So I'm gonna just go to good old Dr. Ken real quick and pick up one of the things he said. It is a 12 team, and the running back options are pretty much what Mike said in that context. I'm not dropping Stevenson. Sorry.
If that's the case, I would definitely drop Tez over Stevenson if you just know there's no shot. Yeah, I think that's fine logic.
No shot. Joshua W goes, we're the Cleveland Browns. I love it.
I think he was saying that in response to what I said earlier about
I know. That's the door.
Travion running against the Cleveland Browns defense.
Yeah. No, you're good. I love it. Either way, I love when people throw their little things in there. We got Warrior Loft in the house. What's going on? What's up, guys? He goes, start 2. He goes, JJ versus the Packers, 11th worst. Pickens versus the Eagles, 15th worst. Michael Wilson versus the Jags, 17th worst. He thinks that McCarthy is too inaccurate to trust at the moment, especially versus a good Packers DST.
I don't care about that.
Is this a super flex where we're going to flex a positional over a quarterback because we're thin? Is that what's happening here?
No, you're just picking wide receiver.
Starting 2 wide receivers. And I'm going to go Justin Jefferson and Michael Wilson. I don't care about McCarthy's struggles right now. He'll find a way to get the ball in the hands of Justin Jefferson. It may not win them games. I mean, I would not be surprised to see the Packers clean up against the Vikings, but I'm not ready to bench Justin Jefferson. I don't think we're in panic mode right now.
You can't. No.
Pickens has a larger chance to come back down to earth against a ridiculous Eagles secondary.
He has a very good chance.
Yeah, the problem is that people see like lower point totals that Justin Jefferson puts up, like 7.7 or 11.1, and they go, "Oh my God, panic!" No, not the time to panic. He's way better than Pickens is against a tough secondary. Pickens, yeah, he's having a great year, but I think he potentially comes back down to earth. He's been great in the red zone too, but it's the Philadelphia Eagles. It's a division rival. This is going to be a bad game, I think, for the Dallas Cowboys. I think the Eagles are going to have one of their amazing games that makes everybody scratch their heads wondering what was going on with the chaos that is the Eagles. So I can't start Pickens over JJ.
Yeah, I can't start Michael Wilson over either, though. By the way,
I can't.
That's
my whole.
I scouted Michael Wilson in college a little bit. I can just say I'm fascinated that he's done this well up to this point. Oh yeah,
he's a solid receiver.
I thought he had no ceiling. I haven't seen one trait from him in his NFL career. Kyler being the quarterback's held him back tremendously.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
I think low-key the Jags defense is better than it looks on paper. Their stats are just torn up. When they lose, they've gotten just dumped on, and it's really torn their stats up. But they're actually pretty competent, and I don't trust the Arizona Cardinals as an operation. Whenever you have a bad front and back office combined, you're going to have a lot of weird fluky performances from time to time, but it's not going to stay consistent. I'm for sure going JJ and Pickens and Michael Wilson, that he might score not even double digits. I don't think that's really within the range of outcomes for Pickens and JJ at this point. Yeah, I've seen enough from Michael Wilson. We've seen Michael Wilson without much other options too, and he hasn't done much in many of those situations. Last week was just nuts.
So, Kendall, you're thinking he's just going to come way back down to earth after that explosive game against the 49ers against a underrated Jacksonville secondary?
So I think that if you look at his touchdown history, it's non-existent. It's literally non-existent. So I think Trey McBride, I think a million other pieces have a higher chance to score a touchdown. So let's just say touchdown chances are, let's make them 0, right? From there, I just don't see enough target share on average to make it make sense. His ADOT has to be insane too, right? If anything, I think the reason Michael Wilson had the game he did is because Greg Dortch actually was kind of a problem with 6 catches, 60 some yards or whatever. He was actually enough of a threat underneath that Michael Wilson was kind of pseudo just left alone to have some kind of crazy plays. I think they're going to just schematically, that's going to get shut down a little bit. Defenses are going to pick up on what they were doing well last week, and that is done. I do think the one thing in the NFL you can bank on from a defensive standpoint is week to week, they're not going to let the same player beat the next team the same way they beat the last team. No defensive head coach is going down that way against the Cardinals, for Christ's sake, right? Like, there's not a coordinator that's going to let Michael Wilson drop 102 games in a row. Like, you're losing your job for that. And that's not good. You want Trey McBride to drop that on you? That's fine. It's not going to be Michael Wilson. No, I bet against it.
I was actually just talking about Wilson's lack of red zone usage before you hopped on, too. He's practically non-existent in there. They do not throw him the ball when he's down there. They always go to McBride. They always go to MHJ, or they'll just run the ball in. Like, they don't have big red zone options.
They'll even do, like, rub routes and stuff like that, where he's, like, not even a target.
He's not that guy. That's a Greg Dortch and a Trey McBride type situation, or even using Higgins. They rather use Higgins because he's bigger. But he's a prototypical wide receiver. He's the guy that, I mean, his size is fantastic. So it's odd that they don't utilize him more and in better scenarios.
Weren't you just glazing Elijah Higgins last week?
I did, and he sucked. I know. Thank you for reminding me. Anyway, so yeah, I'm going JJ and Pickens for this. So yeah, that's how I feel about it. Pickens, I don't like the kid. I'm not a big fan of him in general, but he's been doing real well as of late. So it's hard to, go off the heat. Warrior goes, start Jake Ferguson versus the Eagles or Jawan Jennings versus the Falcons.
That's a really good question, too. And I feel like a lot of the fantasy football industry is way too low on Juwan Johnson. They don't want to accept that he is a vital part of this terrible Saints offense, and that hurts. But if you have this problem of Fergie versus Juwan Johnson, that's a fantastic problem to have, and kudos to you for that. That being said, I'm going to go Juwan Johnson here because of the easier matchup.
I'm going Juwan Johnson. Typically, like, it's hard when you're doing like weekly rankings. I get it. It's very tough in that perspective when you're kind of like doing the tier-based stuff before you switch people around, right? It's just like Ferguson is not the number 2. He used to be the number 2 in that offense. And so he'd get just tremendous red zone usage, right? At this point, they have a running game that actually allows it to punch it in within 5 quite often, and it's really killed a lot of Jake Ferguson's utility in the red zone. He's not going to get enough yards because CD in the slot plus Pickens when he's running X and doing the deep stuff. Ferguson has to be like a Dak playing really good, smart ball to find him, and he's got to run enough of those routes. Juwan Johnson's just the second read. In a lot of their game script and plays. So this for me is definitely a Juwan Johnson.
They just lost Cook. They just lost Shaheed, and it's pretty much Johnson and Olave. There's no
he's
other way.
He's playing
to
tight end plus Shaheed's role in kind of a weird way.
And what's going to happen?
It's weird look at across all tight ends. How many tight ends can you say like they're definitely getting 8 targets this week?
No, I'm in the same boat. And that's the craziest part about it. Jake Ferguson's going to be in a situation where he's going to be covered by one of the better. Like right now, from what I can gather, they're going to have Pickens and Lamb covered by Mitchell and DeJean. They're both going to be just staying on top of him. They're going to use Dean and one of the other guys at linebacker. They're going to use and Braun. They're going to pretty much just cover Ferguson, and it's one of those things where he's the third in the pecking order compared to the second. I like Johnson better. He's in a better scenario. I don't like the quarterback as much, but Chuck has been playing better than most, so I'm okay with playing Juwan in this particular.
Can I bring up an insane stat as far as ownership of shareholders go? In ESPN, as of 4 days ago, Juwan Johnson was only owned in 35% of ESPN leagues, in redraft leagues. Like, that's insane. Juwan Johnson right now in Sleeper is owned in 72%. That is a vast difference in the type of people that play in ESPN versus Sleeper. So if you're
Sleeper's marketing real for sure.
Oh my God.
But
dude.
let me say this too.
Players.
But well, let me say this too, though. If you're listening and playing in ESPN right now, go get Juwan Johnson. He is worth the roster.
Oh yeah. No, I've seen it myself because unfortunately I don't like playing an ESPN on the app. I'm not a big fan of it. I completely like all the other ones comparatively. I refuse to play in NFL. But these last 2 years, I have to because my wife's in those two leagues in those two particular formats. So I've had the ability to play all of them. I have seen a very clear difference in the competitiveness of like teams that are in each. If you're in ESPN, it's very rare that it's competitive. Granted, this is coming from a guy that's currently ninth in that particular league with a stud freaking lineup, but it is what it is. Let's move on to Literal Dark. He goes, should I start Dobbs since Jacobs is most likely out? They probably will throw more, and Watson also was limited at practice, but I don't know how y'all feel about him.
Maybe I need to scroll up here, but I don't know who you'd be starting Dobbs over at this point because Dobbs is such a wildly inconsistent option depending on just who the Packers can find open because they just do not have a wide receiver that they want to trust, and they want to get Jaden Reed back involved in this offense too. I don't believe he's suiting up against the Minnesota Vikings. I have to... I can't remember when he's coming back. But he is already out. He is expected to come back between weeks 15 and 17, which is going to be way worse for the rest of their pass catchers. But coming back to this week with Romeo Dobbs, even against a weak secondary with Minnesota, I'm still not interested.
Yeah, I like him, but he's just so inconsistent. He's had one game within the top 5 where he did well against Dallas. I mean, everyone does good against Dallas. But other than that, he hasn't had anything higher than like 22nd. After that, like he was 22nd overall, and then he pretty much hasn't gotten out of the 30s. He had a 1-point game recently. He's just very inconsistent, but he's a very good I want to say he's a very good possession receiver on a team that doesn't like to throw the ball. That's the problem with him. And Watson, it doesn't matter. He's their possession guy. 3rd and 1, they're throwing to him. 3rd and whatever, they're throwing to Dobbs. They're running on 1st and 2nd down. That's all they do. Like they are a pretty consistent team of running it on 1st and 2nd down, passing it on 3rd to get the 1st down and moving on.
I'll put it to you this way. I'd still rather start Romeo Dobbs so that I don't have to dig my own Luke Musgrave. Hey!
Evan, that was perfect. That was perfect. I don't mind Dobbs, but he's a low-end guy for me. He's a low-end 3, high-end 4 in a situation. Very rare that I like him in the flex. I usually like some other guys that I'd rather have in that scenario. Yeah, I'm just not on board with him. You probably have better options somewhere else, in my opinion. We got Jelly of the Month. What's going on? He goes, need. I don't know how many.
Let's assume 1.
I'm going to assume 1. So we got Tootin, Gainwell, Charbonnet, or Algier.
I'm going to go Algier here.
I'm going to go Gainwell.
This one's going to change, right? I mean, Walker popped up late on the injury report, right?
He's playing, though.
He's going to be fine, but in enough where Sharp's kind of interesting. You can run on the Bears. Gainwell is more interesting.
I'm going Gainwell.
I got to be honest. I'm between Gainwell and Tootin, so we are way over the place. You guys know I am the biggest Bashal Tootin fan on the planet. I called it last week was... Oh, it felt good. I was literally running around. We were like recently back from the hospital with like my newborn, and I'm running around with a day old, just going to town, man, watching Bashal too. Yeah. Oh, yes. Cat dad over here. I'm loving it.
This is Hida, and she's hungry, but I'm not going to leave the show to feed you yet. You can wait. You can wait.
Friend of the show. Hida. Oh man, I love it. Honestly, I think I'm straight up. I'm going Tootin. I got a feeling that. I think this is going to be his thing. I think he's going to get 50% snap share around it. And I think he already has more passing down work. And he gets used kind of interestingly in the red zone. He has a lot of random red zone things where it's like it's Sharps, but more random, if that makes sense. All those things together, Gainwell's probably the chalky play for me in terms of
I love him.
usage. I'm leaning Tootin, but that's a personal bias. I think the chalky play is probably Gainwell gets hyper involved in the offense because DK can't. He's caught like 5 passes a game at best. Gainwell really seemed effective in that game. I lean Gainwell for the higher PPG on average. It's probably Gainwell. I'm going to start Tootin because I have to though.
But I guess what I'm not understanding is why the hype for Tootin despite only getting barely 30% of the snaps.
So that was only a couple weeks. He was starting to get up there a little bit more in snap share, but I think it's how he's utilized. And just from a pure talent standpoint, look at Henderson, right? We were all like, why is Henderson not being utilized? Why aren't they giving more of a shot? He's clearly more talented. In my opinion, Bashal Tootin isn't outrageously talented running back. It's just that ETN is a little bit better. If Tootin's perfectly healthy, I think ETN's injury is actually a little bit worse. I know they're both a little bit banged up, right? I just think it's going to affect Tootin a little bit less. Gainwell's still the chalky play. If I had to recommend it, it's Gainwell.
Gainwell is healthy. 3 running backs out for the Bears, or 3 linebackers are out for the Bears.
Everything lines up for Gainwell, right? I'm just kind of an anti-Steelers offense person, right? So if I have to recommend it, I'm going Gainwell. Why I'm into Tootin is purely a talent thing. This is purely I think my call midway through the season is Tootin's going to start to ramp up like all rookies post bye.
Yeah,
they're going to get ready for Tootin to maybe take over the backfield at some point potentially. And I hadn't seen his talent flash, so a longer take here, but I just think Tootin is secretly talented. Most players on the Jaguars are going to get hidden because the Jaguars are a freaking mess, right? But Tootin's going to be a bright spot.
Well, before we get to this comment, though, I do want to also bring up one thing, though. So, Kendall, knowing our Bears, how much you want to bet it's going to be somebody like Caleb Johnson finding the end zone against us? Because the Bears allow players that people don't think of to do stuff like that.
That could be
don't put that in the universe, please.
But sorry, Jelly of the Month. As far as Kayshon Boutte goes, I don't care. I'd rather start. I'd rather start Tyler Algier over him anyway.
Agreed.
Yeah, I also think the target share is going to come down. Now that with Ramondre healthy, they're going to lean on the run game a little bit more. They're successful with it. Drake May can do magic on 25 attempts. I just don't think there's enough target volume for it to spread around a lot. Like, I wouldn't start Parker Washington if they weren't throwing the ball 40 times a game, right?
Yeah, fair. So Warrior goes, if Jacobs is out, who would you start at the flex? Emmanuel Wilson or Michael Wilson?
Which Wilson? Let's go Michael Wilson. I don't trust Emmanuel.
Yeah, I mean, that is pretty close for me. I actually kind of liked Emmanuel Wilson's prospect profile a little bit, but I think he's capped. I hate the Packers offense so much. It feels like if Jacobs is out, the whole offense is screwed. Feels like Christian Watson is probably going to be the guy to own if there's a running back down. I'm going Michael Wilson because I do think there's a better combination of upside floor.
Yeah, I agree.
Brooks
the only caveat,
Brooks is going to catch the passes. Wilson's going to be like Zonovan Knight kind of, where it's like that didn't
He'll
really
be banned.
work out super well.
But I mean, Minnesota does have a pretty bad run game. They're 22nd overall. I don't hate it, but I like Mike Wilson just a smidge better. I just think they're going to
just a smidge.
Yeah, just a smidge.
Okay.
Yeah,
it's a hilarious question.
I like it though. All right, boys and girls, those are all the questions that we have for you guys today. Thank you so much for joining us. We really do appreciate it. Make sure you guys check out, of course, the Extra Point with Phil, as well as the Fantasy Football Tavern with Kendall when he gets back from his paternity leave and should be out. And then also make sure you guys are checking out Evan's show on YouTube with Barely Fantasy. Really good show as well. He puts out a ton of content.
It's not so much a show. It's more or less just occasional shorts that I put out there. I like to give quick and dirty advice on what to do with specific players in YouTube shorts. Give it a sub. If you can just punch it in on YouTube, you'll find me.
Yeah. So make sure you guys check out Evan over there as well. Also, make sure you guys, if you haven't already, please check out Underdog Fantasy. One of the best in the business and what they do. They also they do a lot of things with best ball. They do a lot of things with pick'ems as well. Use promo code GetRight and the current promotion, I hope, is the pay for 5, get 100. So make sure you guys are using promo code GETRIGHT, and that is the promo that they have for you guys. What else do we got here? I don't care about that one as much. So yeah. All right, boys and girls, make sure you guys check us out. We are going to be back. I'm going to be back on Sunday morning. I will be here every other week with Evan. And then we will be back here on Monday as well with Frank. Tuesday with Phil, if he's not skiing or snowboarding. And then we have Frank coming back on Wednesday as well. And then we're back here next Friday. So if we don't talk to you before then, happy Thanksgiving. Enjoy and have time with your family. Otherwise, we will see you guys on Sunday morning. Hope everyone has a wonderful week 12. We'll see you guys next time. Peace.